All right, integrators, it's time for the Platform Integration Championship. So, today we're going to be making some forward-looking statements. This is all about the future. This is a reminder for everybody that any purchasing decisions that you're going to be making should be based on what's on our roadmap today, and what's available today, and not what's on our roadmap, because our roadmap is subject to change. Jonathan, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. We got some great people in the audience today. I just want to take a moment to say thank you for everybody for coming here. This is one of my favorite sessions. I love doing this. This is a great opportunity to celebrate all the amazing integration work that all of you do. This is our little way to say thank you for building such amazing things with a Salesforce platform. We've been doing this session for about 2 years now. And it's always a treat to see what people are building and get to share what's new and what's coming for platform integration. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm your host. I'm Tyson Reed. I am a product manager at Salesforce. I work on event-driven architecture. And I'm joined in that endeavor by these three fabulous co-hosts. We've got Raj Advani, who's the product manager for platform events and change data capture. We've got Ross Belmont, who is the product manager for platform connectivity. And we've got Jeremy Westerman, the king of the enterprise API. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be playing a game, of course, called the Platform Integration Championship, as you all know. And the way the game works is we've got this QR code to compete in the game on Slido. And we're going to be asking you questions that are going to be coming throughout the course of this presentation. A lot of this is going to be based off of what we're talking to you about today. And we're going to be awarding points based on speed and accuracy. So make sure you get your answers in quickly. You're going to have about 20 seconds to answer each question. And the winner is going to claim bragging rights. And of course, the championship belt. This is a beautiful piece of hardware. It weighs 6 pounds. It's very heavy. So you might need to check a bag on the way back. It's OK. But it's a beautiful statement piece for any home office, any office in general. You know, any questions that you might get about whether you're pursuing the optimal integration strategy for your Salesforce org, this is going to settle those questions once and for all. You want this in your office.
And just think of what your spouse is going to say. I mean, can you even believe it?
Yeah.
It's not really good at holding up your pants, though.
It's not. It's not. If anything, it kind of it brings them down a little bit. But here we are. So let's get into it. Ross.
Oh, hey, that's me.
What's MCP?
Well, that would be the Model Context Protocol, which is pretty exciting. You may have heard of it. Show of hands, MCP. MCP, I know this guy. Okay, pretty much everybody? Okay, all right. So that will tell us how fast we go through this. So good news, the host MCP servers are now GA for Salesforce. Yes, thank you. Yes, some very excited folks here that I've seen before, which is great. And I'll tell you a little bit about them. There is another repeat tomorrow of the breakout session that I gave earlier today if you want to go all the way into it, but I don't want to take all the time. So you may already be aware of the fact that Agentforce is an MCP client, right? This is in the other direction on the right-hand side of the screen, Salesforce as an MCP server. Have external agents access to logic and assets in your org securely and easily. And since you're all mostly familiar with MCP, right, these three basic buckets of primitives, tools, prompts, and resources. The tools are the operations that the agents can execute. Prompts help script the actions in sort of a recipe type format. And resources an interesting, a little bit more for the future.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's very sad.
Now
we're cooking with hot grease. All right. So we have a range of tools. We've got data in the form of both CRM, SObject data, and Data Cloud SQL. Data analysis by way of Tableau Next. And then in terms of operations and actions, we've got a mixture of things. Apex actions, flows, we've got Apex REST, we've got an inquiry API, we've got Aura enabled, and there is a whole separate set of use cases around metadata, vibe coding, et cetera. A little bit of a separate thing, but some of the stuff you saw this morning is powered by that. Prompts are an interesting one. Only certain clients support prompts at this point, but prompt templates from Prompt Builder come through to the client, which is pretty neat if you're using a client like Claude or Cursor that supports that. Saves you a lot of typing and improves your ability to, without being an expert prompt engineer, to get good results. Resources are more of a UI harness for now. I can tell you more about that later, but in terms of arbitrary resources, not supported quite yet. So, the great thing about the MCP servers that we have now is just like the rest of our APIs here, managed by the sterling gentleman here next to me, in the fact that they're fully hosted, secure, you're not running it on your own server, you don't have to download anything from GitHub, nothing to patch, nothing to maintain, right? All of that you're used to in terms of a quality and uptime and managed experience and perspective, we have that here now with MCP, as well as security. When users log in through OAuth through their MCP client of choice. It's their individual user account and permissions that the agent acts under, right? So when that person takes an action, creates a record, deletes it, the audit trail shows their name so that you know who it was that took that activity, as well as what object permissions, CRUD, FLS, things like that person has. What records they can see and not see, what records they can change and not change. So simple to use, you don't have to manage it, secure, as well as robust. A lot of capabilities out of the box and capabilities for you to build your own servers and tools by way of Apex flows and more, okay? So powerful there. Talk a little bit about security. If you're all familiar with integration because you're here and this is a developer conference,
I know about
and we're talking, yeah, you're in the right place then. I'm glad you're here. That's good. You're probably familiar with the patterns here of REST clients authenticating and identifying themselves by way of an external client app in the org, right? As they authenticate and hit a given resource API. All of this that you're used to applies in MCP as well. There's not some new form of authentication just for MCP. We're using an external client app. The MCP client is only different in this case by way of the fact that it's got an LLM supporting it, but it's identified by an external client app, fully secured. Then the call goes to the MCP server after you authenticate before making its way back to the backing resource API. So again, the security story is something people always ask about, which is why I want to bring it up, but everything you're used to when it comes to not only how clients authenticate, but what users can do once they log in is maintained. All right? So, moving forward. Okay, if you're wondering how to give the agents less access than the human at the wheel, because you don't trust it yet, might go haywire, might blow things up, right? You don't want that. How do you do that? A couple strategies from left to right here, simplest to most complicated. You can just use a read-only server. We have those. They just don't include tools that can edit data. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Or you can investigate name query API, which is a very exciting feature that I think is going to catch fire very quickly. Directly define the SOCL statement that comprises an MCP tool that the client will run. Just write the statement yourself, only those objects and fields, then come back from the tool call. Complete control, or 100% control by way of your own Apex actions. Just write the code straight up, make it an invocable method. There's some other options as well, but control the logic top to bottom to do whatever you want to do.
That's how you get a Skynet, so you don't control your access, huh?
Well, you want to be careful, because I've seen that film. All right.
So we got a great turnout for aspiring champions.
This is good stuff. I'm feeling good already. All right, so question number one. What mechanism governs the auth when the clients connect to the MCP server? Is it connected apps with web server flow, external client apps with Pixie, name credentials with a JOT bearer token, or API keys in your client configuration? What is the right answer? Now is your moment. Amazing. All right, how'd we do? Oh, crushed it. Nicely done. Yes. External client apps are the way to go. Connected apps are not supported and never will be. So get on board with, yeah, I'm here to say, yeah.
We're moving on. Bigger and better things.
Yeah, time moves in one direction. Don't get stuck in the rearview mirror, buddy.
Jonathan Green. This is, I mean, wow. All right.
No, not that beach kid. Not that beach fella. Different
Not that beach fella.
Not the beach fella. All right.
Okay.
Question two.
Yes, hosted MCP servers allow admins to define their own custom capabilities, which are not an option yet. Tools backed by Flow or Apex, resources powered by SQL, prompts from Prompt Builder, or agents exposed over MCP. All right. So this one is a fun one. So resources are mostly for a UI backend enabling technology right now, which might be a little confusing, but trust me on that one. Agents over MCP are going to be in pilot soon. So a given agent will be able to be cast as an MCP tool. So that's going to be pretty cool.
So that last option was, that's customer demand is what you're speaking to, right?
That is
correct. We got
correct.
this coming.
That's why we're here, because we're listening.
right.
I'm not just talking, I'm also listening.
Beautiful. Okay, Sergio.
Okay,
jumping
all
ahead.
right, this looks good, looks good. Okay, if an admin wants to expose custom logic as an MCP tool, what kind of flows can they use? Screen flows, record triggered, auto launched, or scheduled? I don't know if I specifically said this out loud, so you really have to be eagle-eyed to check this one out. But if you think it through, I think you guys can get there, because I believe in you. Okay, as of now, it's only auto-launched, which is great, because record triggered would be, starting on the platform side, not because of your prompt. Scheduled is sort of similar, and screen flows aren't yet supported. Maybe in the future, we'll figure out a way to cascade those UIs out to the client, but right now they're auto-launched, so you can just treat them like any other API function call. It takes inputs and returns outputs. Easy peasy.
How dare platform event-triggered flows not be on this list? Gosh.
Well, I guess we should meet more often. We should talk, yeah.
All right. Sergio.
All right, Sergio still got this, but it's still anybody's game. It's still early.
Yeah, it's still early. It's still early. Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So how does the security model compare to the one for the REST API? Do we have some new model, right? Are we bypassing FLS and CRUD, just sort of going under the covers there? Is it the same rules as the REST API, or do you plug in a dedicated sysadmin profile? Anybody? Okay, beautiful. Nicely done, everybody. Same rules as apply as if you were taking that same action over the REST API. No more, no less.
All right. Cool. So I think this concludes our MCP section.
Let's wrap it up.
So we are going to move on. Start talking about Enterprise API.
No, just the.
We'll give you the clicker.
Well, you can have that too. All right, great.
Okay.
Yeah, must be nice.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll turn to the old-fashioned APIs. And to start this off, we're giving an update on the oldest API, SOAP API. You'll probably be aware of this, that we are retiring SOAP API login as part of the improved addressing some of the security vulnerabilities. We are deprecating SOAP API login. We announced that previously. But in this release, we're going to put in more controls for the admins to actually control access. So today, in a newly created org, SOAP API login is disabled by default. The admin has to go in and enable that in setup. In summer 26, this release, in new orgs, users will also have to have this user perm, this new user perm, use any API auth. If they don't, then the SOAP API login call will fail. So it's a further control to secure that. And in an existing org, admins can optionally enable it. We recommend that you start to go through and identify those users who are using SOAP API login and assign the user perm, because we may mandatory enforce this in winter or spring 27. So just be aware of this new capability. Another thing we've added to SOAP API is support for job-based access tokens, because if you're moving from SOAP API login, you will have to use OAuth with external client apps or connected apps. And today, the SOAP API does support use of an opaque access token, which is great and the recommended token if you're just interacting with one Salesforce org. But if you want a token that is interoperable with third-party services, and particularly this came out from the Salesforce CLI, where they need metadata operations and need to interact with third-party services using that same identity token, then you can use the OAuth 2 job-based access token. So the SOAP API will support this, and you can configure that within your ECA or your connected app. Name Query API for Asian Actions. Ross mentioned this and for use with MCP. Basically, we GA'd this in the spring 26 release, the last release for REST APIs. And what it enables you is to basically create an API based upon a predefined SOCL. And so in effect, it allows you to control how data is exposed to your API as an API, to your app API clients, but now also to agents and as MCP tools. And so you basically define the SOCL within setup. You can make that available. It's viewable in the API catalog, which is there. You can activate that, and hence it's available then as an agent action and an MCP tool. So we've GA'd that.
What's the most memorable query you've ever seen named?
We've had an interesting one regarding one that's come in from a support case product 2. It's just come in. We've found some interesting from the validation aspects of that, because we're now doing the validation at design time rather than
no one's having fun with these names? This is what I'm hearing.
No.
Okay. All right.
Not yet.
Have fun with the names, guys. Pick something descriptive, but you can keep it fun.
I mean, product 2 is kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we can do better.
You think?
Okay. Now, speaking of SOCL, we are enhancing the SOCL language. We have 2 options here for querying data cloud DLOs, because within Core Platform, you can actually use SOCL to query DLOs. The first one is specifying the data space. By default, when you query a DLO, we can only query the default data space. Data space is a security partitioning mechanism within Data Cloud. And so the DLO has to be in the default data space. With this feature, we're introducing this syntax called set options. So you, as the SOCL developer, knows that the DLO is not in the default data space. You can specify the data space to query. Another option that we're introducing is honor empty strings. Within Salesforce Platform, a null and an empty string is treated the same. So if you do a SOCL query, when you're filtering on that, it's going to return the same records. DLOs distinguish those. And so this will allow you to do a SOCL query and allow and return records based upon the null or the empty strings, so that you can distinguish between those records coming back from the DLO. Okay, and the next SOCL enhancement we are making is arithmetic formulas in the where clause. Now, today within SOCL, you can use fields within the where clause to do comparison operations to control the records that are coming back. With this feature, you will actually be able to do an arithmetic example. So in this case here, we're checking is the amount less the expected revenue greater than 100. For those records where that condition is true, it will return. Likewise, if the close date minus the created date is greater than 10, it will return those records. So we're introducing that, and we support that for these data types: double integers, date time, date, and currency. Now, this is going to be a pilot in this release, so if you are interested, contact your account manager or CSM to participate. We definitely want some feedback on this. Now, I've kept the good news to the end. We're part of investing and focusing our development on the latest API versions. We are retiring our legacy API versions. We've previously just retired API versions 21 through 30, so now we're starting the process for 31 through 40. So we're announcing it now with this release, summer 26. It's going to be deprecated, end of support in summer 27, and in summer 28, it'll be removed from the platform. But we are introducing this new feature in winter 27, where you can specify the latest version to use. So you won't be tied to a specific version, but use that with caution, because it will automatically pick up any changes in each release. So read the release notes, maybe do some testing in sandboxes when each release comes out.
I saw excitement in the room for that one.
Oh, yes.
It was palpable.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
You
we
guys can make more noise. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have to do anything?
This is our championship round. All right. We're going to go
Okay, so what is the correct plan to handle SOAP API login retirement in summer 27? Migrate to connected apps, migrate to external client apps, assign the user the use any API auth, a user perm, or apply for an extension?
You're not going to get one, but you can.
I know what it isn't.
Oh, no, it's migrate to external client apps because that is the strategic way for OAuth to handle the migration. The assign use any API user perm is just to use SOAP API login in new orgs prior to retirement.
All right.
Tricky.
Definitely don't migrate to a connected app.
No, because that is not
Not a good plan these days. Okay. All right. The beach fella. Okay, coming along.
Which API versions are end of support in summer 27 and retired in summer 28?
So tricky.
21 through 30, 31 through 40, 41 through 50, and 51 through 60.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Folks are paying
attention.
attention.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's a sharp group. It's a sharp
People are
looking
paying
group here.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. All right.
And the last one. Which of the following types is not supported in the new arithmetic formulas in the SOQL where clause feature? Double, date time, string, currency. String. You can't have arithmetic formula on string.
Hard to math strings.
Yeah.
The math ain't mathin'.
Yep. All right. Cool. Well, I think that was our last API.
That was the
question.
last question.
So we're going to move back to our presentation. Raj, take us away.
All right, I'm going to take us to platform events and change it to capture. Who here are my platform events, change it to capture customer?
All
Yeah,
right.
applaud. Go right ahead. I love that. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the feedback I've been getting from my more vocal customers. And a lot of that feedback has been around eventing is still this black box. I don't really understand where my events are going, how many I'm using, if they're getting to where they need to, and so on. So we've started building out this new Event Studio. I don't know if you've seen it yet in the setup tree. If you go click on Event Studio, you'll see this new setup tree. Today, it only shows usage. As soon as the next release comes out in summer 26, you're going to start to see more. You're going to see another section called Build with Events that's going to show you your Apex subscribers. It's going to show you what their latency is. Is it an average latency? Is your latency above average, below average? You're going to see a threshold to understand. You've got what I figuratively call this check engine light. So if your latency is above that threshold, just gives you a little indicator. Not saying anything's wrong, just giving an indicator. You may want to take a look at it. If you hover on that check engine light, you'll get some recommendations on what you can do to bring that latency down. Maybe use parallel processing or increase or decrease your bat size depending on your implementation. So I'm really excited about that. You'll also see a graph that shows your latency over the last 24 hours. Maybe your latency is just 18 seconds or 45 seconds. As long as you see that trend, oh, okay, everything's running stable. But you'll also see spikes and so on. Oh, now I know that's why I'm getting all these tickets from the business. There was a spike here for about 20, 30 minutes. Maybe I should go and investigate that a little further. So all that is coming out in summer 26. I'm really, really excited about that. When we get to winter 27, for those folks that are using like parallel processing, or I said to change that bat size, today you have to do it through the PESC, right? You have to go and modify that platform event, subscriber config, then do a deploy. Well, we're going to be able to make all those changes just in that UI instead. Via inline editing, you'll be able to enable parallel partitions. You'll also be enabled to change your bat size without having to do all that deployment. Thank you. I love the applause.
Yeah. It's one of those like, why this could
Why
be
haven't we done
easier.
this?
Why do I need to hit the API to do this? Like, this is a simple field.
That whole deploy
Why'd you
makes
guys
me
do
stop
that?
testing.
Come
I don't want
on,
to do
man.
that. I'm going to move on to something else.
No excuse.
We're going to be taking questions at the end, sir.
Yeah.
One thing I want to call out, I want to jump on that retirement train that Jeremy started here. I've tried to do my best to get this message out to everybody, but standard volume platform events have already been deprecated. That retirement will take place in winter 27. The great news is, I heard, again, a lot of feedback. People were pounding on my door. I don't know how they got my address, but people were pounding on my door. There will be a migration tool that's coming out in summer 26 to help you migrate any standard volume platform events you have automatically to high volume platform events. For my ISVs in the crowd, that will work on your packages as well. So it's not just for customers. I got that feedback, especially from ISVs. I don't want to have to put out new packages and so on. So this tool that's coming out in summer 26 will work for packages as well as for our customers. Just a little refresher on why we're doing this. Not only is standard volume kind of, just a legacy product, but you are getting a much higher retention rate. You go from 24 hours to 72 hours, which in an event-driven architecture world, that should be a lifetime. I hope nothing is taking longer than that to get to where it needs to. If it is, please come find me. You'll also be able to scale much easier. With standard volume events, you were limited to 100,000 a day. You could open up a ticket, and I could approve that, but I would only approve that temporarily. There was no such thing as, hey, I'm going to approve that to 5 million events. With high volume, it scales as your business grows. Hopefully everybody's business here is continuing to grow, and so we can scale with you. You can purchase as you need, and there is no real ceiling at how far you need to go. So I do have customers today that are running at 70, 80 million events a day, so we have no issue scaling as you scale. And finally, with standard volume platform events, you were kind of limited just to Comet-D. With the whole, the whole world now with PubSub API and everything else, that's why another reason why you should be thinking of moving to high volume. Not thinking, it's going away. So you are moving to high volume, but those are some of the reasons why we're doing those things. I'll let you cover Event Relay, Ty.
Sure. So for Event Relay, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, Event Relay is our connector to Amazon EventBridge. One of the exciting things that we have coming out in the summer 26 release is that Event Relay supports our government cloud customers. We've done a lot of good work to up-level Event Relay to work in government cloud. And starting in winter 27, we're still fleshing out the details. Unclear if it's going to be a pilot or a beta, but you're gonna be hearing more from me on using Event Relay to send events to hotel collectors. This is work that we're doing with our pals in the event monitoring team to improve observability within Salesforce. And we really see a great opportunity to use Event Relay as a way to get those events out to your hotel collectors seamlessly. So looking forward to that. All right. Raj, take it away. What's coming for
if we start to look a little bit further on the roadmap, besides the stuff that's just coming out in the next release, on the PubSub API side, we're looking at managed subscriptions that's going in finally into GA. I know that's been something that people have been asking them a lot about. That will be going into GA here in winter 27, as well as having a GovCloud endpoint for PubSub API. Looking at the Event Studio, that we're nowhere near being done. I would say we're at maybe 25% of what we're trying to get done. So we'll continue to build on that. In winter 27, you're going to have this recommendations panel. So it's going to kind of look at the different metrics you got and give recommendations. One of the things I've been hearing a lot is, can't you guys just tell me where I am in regards to my limit? I've used 86% of my delivery limit, or I've used 43% of my published limit. So you're going to be able to see that in Event Studio, and it's all going to be color-coded to know that where you are in regards to that limit, if you need to, if you're getting close or bumping up to it or not. You're also going to get other recommendations around, if your publish rate is below a 99.9%, what's going on there. More information about your subscriber latencies. Speaking of subscribers, today in Event Studio and what you'll see in summer 26 is just Apex subscribers. Come winter 27, you'll see all your subscribers, Flow subscribers, Java consumers, and so on. So we're going to be opening that up to all your subscribers, not just Apex subscribers. Also, really happy to announce who here uses Scale Center. So Scale Center and platform events will be integrating. So you'll be able to get platform event information in Scale Center too. So I like to tell the story as the PM of the product, and how I envision it working is, right, you would go from these recommendations that you would see in setup, you would get into Event Studio, where you'd get a lot of the basic information, and if you needed to see that, oh, my lag is high on one of my Apex subscribers, and I have my runtime right there, and I can understand that, let me click over to now Scale Center, and you'll be able a one-stop click into Scale Center where you can really debug that. You can get into the log level details within a platform event to understand what's going on there, and really giving this audience the tools and the control to understand how their Apex triggers are working and how platform events is working. I'm not here to say I'm removing the black box from platform events. I am here to say we're getting to a nice shade of gray on our way to being far more transparent.
How many shades of gray would you say there are? Would there be 49 or 51?
I'm under safe harbor, right?
Okay.
I'm going to say there's probably 3 or 4 shades of
Just
gray
curious.
before I would
How many?
step on here and say it's transparent.
All right, I think that takes us to our championship round around eventing.
Yeah.
Whoops. All right. So let's go to our next question.
So I kind of talked a lot about this, right? And by the way, there could be multiple answers here. Say you notice a slow Apex subscriber in Event Studio. How can you improve its performance? Mark all that apply. Could you increase the batch size? Could you increase the event allocation of that trigger? Could you use parallel processing? Or could you optimize your trigger logic to reduce the Apex runtime? All right, yeah, so you can increase that batch size, which soon you'll be able to do via the UI. You can use parallel processing, parallel subscriptions, also be able to enable that via the UI coming up, or you can optimize your trigger logic to reduce the Apex runtime. If the first two you need a little bit more understanding of, I would highly recommend going to the platform event and change data capture booth. We are demoing parallel processing, parallel subscriptions. You can understand how it works. You can see the performance gains, and they can also walk you through how to deploy it or how to enable it today, as well as how you'll be able to enable it come summer 26.
All right. All right, now that beach fella is doing very well. Okay.
So which of these legacy features that customers should migrate to get off of and get on to either platform events or change data capture? This is an interesting one because I only covered a couple of them, but I'm really curious.
This is also a mark that all that apply.
Yes.
All right.
This is fantastic.
This is good. Yeah.
Message is getting out. Yes, push topics, although not deprecated yet, it's definitely on the roadmap to be deprecated. We want customers to move over to platform events and change data capture. Generic streaming, very similar to standard volume platform events, right? You've got far better tools, far faster tools with far more features than you would have with generic streaming, as well as standard volume platform events, which we all know I've talked to ad nauseum about.
And PubSub API, of course, is our flagship API for building event-driven integrations. That's not going away anytime soon. This is where we're investing a lot of energy to build out what you can do with the event bus. So yeah, these other three are definitely legacy features, and PubSub is an area of active investment.
Ooh,
All right, Chad, jumping up. All right.
So which publish methods are retryable? Mark all that apply. So REST API, PubSub API, publish callbacks, or commit D.
So this is when you're trying to publish an event, and if the event publish isn't successful, which of these methods can you retry that publish with?
Wow.
All right.
Not bad. Yep, with PubSub API, you can get a response on if your publish was successful or not. If you're using Comet D, you can now and you're using Apex as your publisher, you can do an Apex publish callback. Again, something they can show you at the booth as well, the code on how to do that. But those are our two methods that you can retry a publish. I like to say that gives you almost that guarantee that customers are looking for. Like, I know if that publish makes it to the event bus, you now have 72 hours for that event to get to where it's going. If it doesn't get there, there's an issue on the customer side. Once we know the publish is successful, that contract is practically guaranteed. And so that's why we really push towards customers moving to these retryable publish methods.
All right. Cool, so that takes us to external services. Dedalina, why don't you come on up? Dedalina, once we get you a mic, why don't you introduce yourself and then
Sure.
take it away. Tell us about what's going on
I'm
with external
trespassing.
services.
Hello, everyone. My name is Detalina. I own external services within the integration services team, and I'm coming all the way from UK. Well, I have only one slide for you. How many of you use Connect APIs? Oh, yeah, we have a few hands. Well, exciting news for you guys, and for the other, please do. They can do amazing stuff. So we have some updates to the Connect API versioning. Basically, beforehand, before 66 version, we weren't supporting it, meaning that if we're using Connect API, external services was picking the latest version. And if there are breakable changes, that could be a problem. So from version 66, now external services supports versioning, meaning that you as a customer or as a user will see eventually version 66, then version 67, 68, etc., and you will be able to pick the version that works for you in case there are some breakable changes. This leads to basically backward compatibility, but it's not only limited to Flow. You can update your Agentforce assets as well with the version that you'd like to use, and in general gives you more flexibility. I think this is very short for me, but we can move to my final question for the winner.
Perfect. So this is the final question. Oops, come on.
There's tension in the air.
Yeah.
How does a user adopt a new API version within Flow in the 262 release? Oh, guys, you don't know what 262 is for, but never mind.
Oh.
Oops. By manually editing the hard-coded version in the metadata, by deleting and recreating the flow in the new release, by selecting the new API version from a drop-down and setting any new parameters, or Flow does not support versioning. Yay. People are paying attention.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so why don't you stay up here with us now. Before we reveal who our new champion is, I want to have Jay Hurst join us on stage. Jay is going to help present the championship belt. Jay is the Senior Vice President of Platform Services. Here, why don't you take this? It is heavy. Here.
About 6 pounds, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything about integration? What does integration mean to you?
What does integration mean to me?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting the Mr. USA award. I think the representation that we have up here, all of these wonderful PMs report into my org structure. We do a ton of work with integration across all of the awesome things that you guys build, as well as across Salesforce in general. So I will say I'm very proud to lead this team. They are great. We do a ton of really interesting stuff behind the scenes that you guys may not see, but ultimately our goal is to make it easier for you to integrate with Salesforce, to bring the power of your ideas into the platform. So thank you for everything you do, and thanks to the team.
All right.
And now we're gonna have the champion, drum roll.
Drum roll.
Shad,
Yeah.
Chad,
come on down.
Nice.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
From out of nowhere, beating Not That Beach.
Not
Not
only
the
that,
beach fella.
Chad had a question
That beach
too.
fella. Yeah, come on up. Come on. Thank you so much. Congratulations. This is so cool. Yeah. Woo. Give it up for Shad, everybody. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Can you introduce yourself for everybody?
Hey, everybody. I'm Shad
Fall off
Ahman.
the edge.
I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I work for Turnberry Solutions. I've
Fantastic.
been in the Salesforce ecosystem since 2012. And you guys made my career. I'm only on projects when there's integrations. So that's what I do. So thank you all very much.
Hey, beautiful. How does it feel to be platform integration champion?
It's amazing. To be honest, I just couldn't wait to show people this belt if I were to win. So I'm so excited about this.
This is going to be great for the architecture reviews that you're going into. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. This is going to show up on video conferences a lot.
Because the glare is real. You got to think about how you angle it.
I honestly didn't think you were going to give this away. I saw you walk up with it, and I'm like, oh, that must be the one they use every year.
No.
No.
That's yours.
Community. Yeah.
More out there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have to find each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's one right there.
oh, okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.